I own the brokerage Wheatland Realty. We have other agents who work for us, and they are independent. They do their book of business their own way under my umbrella guidelines.
So when someone's looking to sell their house or looking to buy a house, like what are they looking for when you walk in with a realtor and you're like, I love this, it's great. How do you find those little things that you're like, uh-oh?
I think that overall condition is a really big thing.
Good. So who's a good agent?
I think it's understanding negotiations, how people work. You have to be able to do some numbers, right? You can't just, I mean, there are those TV shows out there. I guess you could just look pretty or handsome and get it done, but I don't think that's real. Because I think real estate is entrepreneurship, really. In the 22 years, I think tenacity and the willingness to overcome the obstacles that will come your way, because they will. It really is that more than anything else.
Hello, my name is Kandra and I am the Director of Business Development here at Scoop Soldiers. And as you probably heard me say before, one of the best parts of my job, one of the funnest parts of my job is I get to co-host the Find Your Gold podcast, where we hope to inspire entrepreneurship by interviewing fabulous friends and people we meet along the way. And we never really know that someone might be watching. You might be our next pet waste millionaire. You never know, coming along. But so we are in Phoenix as normal. We are on the road. I typically am never at my own house. But whenever I'm out, I try to find people that have inspired me or mentored me or been a friend with me through life. And thankfully enough, Nicole, who lives in Sedona, 2 hours north?
Yes, 2 hours north.
She loves me enough that she
Drove her butt down here.
Came down to be on a podcast. Yeah, I mean, we did get coffee first, so that's something. At least something. All right, so maybe that wasn't enough.
Okay.
But Nicole came down to help out, and she's been probably one of my best friends for I don't even know how many years. We always say that we met each other and didn't like each other.
Did not
at first.
No.
But very quickly we changed our own minds about each other.
Yeah.
But you've been in real estate for a very long time. So what I'm going to do is I will shut my mouth and I will let you kind of explain who you are and what you do and a little bit about your business.
All right. Well, I'm Nicole Tudisco. I'm broker, owner of Wheatland Realty in Naperville, Illinois. I've been in the industry since 2004, was in only a couple of years and decided that I needed to be independent, which means own your own brokerage, not work for a brand name, which was certainly a risk, but knew that the risk I was taking was something that I needed to do. So I have a small boutique brokerage. I always like to say we put our clients' needs before our own. We do it right with integrity. And
so my first question is I don't know that I literally don't think I understand or I know why you chose to be a realtor for a period of time under a different brokerage and then become your own. Like what was the...
So before we can really go on here, okay, I can't have a real estate commentary if you continue to call me a realtor.
I know, let's say it again.
So it is realtor. No. There's no It's, so think doctor, realtor.
So why do I say realtor?
Don't know. Because everyone friends with me over 20 years.
But everyone else says it? No, just me.
Well, there's plenty of people who do say it. Some realtors actually say it wrong.
No, realtor.
But
is it the long A from like my Chicago?
I don't know.
All right, well, I'm going to
You're not actually Chicago, though. We had that discussion the other day. You're not actually Chicago.
Well, I'm
actually Chicago.
I'm just going to keep saying realtor, and then you can unfriend me on Facebook.
But the difference, so the difference between a franchise and being independent.
Yeah.
I mean, hindsight, maybe I should have done the franchise part, because I do think in many cases I reinvented a wheel I didn't need to necessarily reinvent.
Okay.
I think there could have been some guidelines, but I tend to be more of the cut off my nose to spite my face, scorch the earth, figure it out myself kind of person. Yeah. I don't necessarily advise that. Hindsight, if I were to start a new business today, I'd be like, hey, who's already figured it out? Who's got it right? Give me a baseline and let me run with it. So I think two different perspectives, 20 plus years into it versus 20 plus years ago. Right?
And I think like in franchising too, so before I answer that question, so what other franchises in real estate? Because I don't know, like people know, like McDonald's is a franchise, like Ace Hardware is a franchise. Yeah. Like, what is the realtor? What are the franchise?
Ooh, realtors again. Okay, realtors.
Okay,
realtors.
This
is gonna be fun.
I'm just gonna stop saying it. So what are the franchises in your industry?
Let's do it. The national ones.
Okay,
would be Remax, Coldwell Banker.
Okay,
you might have heard of EXP Realty. I mean, there's a plethora of them.
Okay.
I mean, I could go on and on. I'm trying to think. Berkshire Hathaway. People might recognize that one from
Like Century
Warren
21?
Buffett's.
Is that like,
Century
is that still
21.
around?
So it's interesting. Yeah, Century 21's still around.
Okay.
And they're also ERA. But what's like Coldwell Banker owns those franchises too. So there's multiple.
Yeah. So
you don't even realize.
So in our industry, or not even our industry, in franchising, like Yum Brands owns multiple different fast food places. I mean, there's, Home Task and there's different brands that own multiple different brands underneath their umbrella.
Gotcha.
So I never really, I knew
It's
what it
the same
was.
thing, yeah.
I never really thought about it that way.
It's the same
So you
exact thing.
chose to be an independent versus being a franchised.
Right.
Okay.
At the time.
And that was just out of you wanted to create your own thing, or you just figured, is there a reason why?
Well, I think I was probably bulldogish and I thought I knew better than everybody else, to be honest.
It worked out.
I mean, it worked out.
It worked out.
I did reinvent a wheel. I could have had it greased a little bit for me. That might have been a better idea. But I think I was full of energy and wanted my own way. And I became an entrepreneur because I was in corporate America and I had been downsized for the last time and I wanted to be in control of my future.
Yep. I actually get a lot of candidates that are corporate buyout or early retire, or they're tired of, working for the man, like those types of things. Yeah. So there are certain people, and I would even say there are certain people that should own a franchise and maybe some that should not own a franchise. And I know you and I love you, and you probably would not have been a great franchise owner.
I don't know.
Because
I would be fabulous now.
Well, maybe you're a little tired now. Like you're a little, life's whooped you up a bit.
Well,
so you're a little more...
I'm just more selective.
You're more selective.
Yeah.
There's brand guidelines and things that go with franchising that I could see you would fit into, but you would also probably be bucking the system
Barking
a little bit along the way. So
saying, well, I don't agree.
For whatever franchise brand you would have landed at, as the operations person, I could probably relate to them and be like, whew.
There's nobody watching this that knows me that actually is going to believe you that I would buck the system. They're all going to be like, are you kidding me?
She's so sweet and calm.
She is so agreeable and reasonable. Yeah.
No,
My team's not sitting there saying she's never scorched the earth or anything. No.
So let's talk about your team then, because it's not just so now you're just not a realtor.
Doctor.
Damn it. Realtor. And so now
you're going to cut out your swearing.
No, they don't. As long as we don't say the F word, we're usually pretty good, which is hard for me sometimes. We all know. So now that you have a team, because you're not the one that's like unlocking the doors.
Yeah, I'm not boots on the ground.
So how does being a brokerage owner, how does that, how did you assemble a team to be able to do the things that need to get done? One, because you don't live there anymore. And two, even if you did, you can't be the end all be all to your business, whether it's real estate or scooping or a bakery, it doesn't matter.
Well, I do live there sometimes.
Yes.
I have two houses. So
back and forth.
But yes, I'm no longer boots on the ground. So I'm not unlocking a door. I'm not interviewing to sell a home. So the brokerage goes in two different ways. It's really, all the brokerages are hiring independent contractors, right? Okay. So there's no ceiling, there's no floor for your business. You're on your own. They give you a baseline of support. And then there's my team, which works my personal book of business that I've built over 20 years. So I own the brokerage Wheatland Realty. We have other agents who work for us, and they are independent contractors. They do their book of business their own way, under my umbrella guidelines, right? Which is probably similar to a franchise. But they could have a completely different marketing process for your home. They have a completely different style when it comes to helping you select a home, right? They have their own systems and processes developed by them. So they are like small businesses under the umbrella. The team is more run my book of business, my way, my referrals, my people. I'm overseeing negotiations, operations, things of that nature. So it's all done by my way, and I trained them right alongside me. The first one being Allison. I mean, she was alongside me every day because...
She's been with you for how many years?
Oh, well, she started the team. So when I started the team, it was 4 years ago. When I was going to start to phase myself out, I figured I had graduated to the point where maybe I didn't have to be boots on the ground anymore and I needed a shift. So I think I started with her 4.5 years ago.
She's been working with you longer?
Yeah, she was working with us longer. She was at the brokerage as an independent agent. And then me and my husband were always Team Tedisco. So when I wanted to transition out of being boots on the ground, she was reluctant at first, but we convinced her.
Probably nudged her a little.
Yeah, she wanted to go to the pool or something. There was something to do with a pool that she didn't want to join the team.
Oh.
Yeah, going to the pool in the summertime was more important.
Oh.
Yeah. We fixed that. It's all right. It's been great ever since.
So when someone's looking to buy a house or looking to work with a realtor, damn it. Realtor. What should they, realtor?
What's the word I gave you?
I don't know.
Doctor. How many syllables is it?
Doctor.
2.
Realtor.
2.
Okay.
2 syllables.
I swear to God.
You know what? Every real estate person.
I swear to God.
Every real estate person, if you just snippet this out, they're going to love it.
Just
okay?
all like everyone's like, damn it.
Everybody's going to be like, ah.
All right, so when someone's looking for a realtor,
Yeah.
What should they be looking for? Like, what's the top 3 things that you would say, hey, there's a lot of us out here, you want to click with the right one. Like, what should they be looking for?
I mean, of course, personality plays a role in it, but I think one thing that, because I also know realtors across the US, so I can help anybody pick a good realtor. I've had people recently, hey, I'm moving from Tampa back to Indiana, and I interview the realtors. One of the things I think we skip over is it's one thing to market a property or to, solicit a buyer, but to know how to negotiate the deal and understand the loan process, understand underwriting and what all of that entails, I would tell you, I feel like most agents really don't understand the process.
Okay.
When we're calling or we're interviewing or if we're listing a home or we're helping buy, we know what to present to the seller as far as strong financials and how to position that client so they get the best possible deal. And I don't think that's the first thing people think of.
No,
right? It's easy to find the home. Yeah. Anybody's qualified to unlock a door.
I know. Tony's told me. Your husband, so I don't know what the story was. I kind of even forgot the story. It was like a bazillion years ago when you were somewhere and I wanted to see a house. I'm like, just send Tony. And he's a very qualified realtor.
Yes.
He's very qualified. He did a really good job, but he was like hilarious. And I was like, so, cause again, best friends forever. I'm like, so you're just like Nicole's door opener? And of course, then, he knows us. He thought it was funny, but yeah, it's more than just opening the door.
His normal line was,
hold on.
He'd always say, they look with her and they buy with me.
Yeah. Or his other one was,
that's what I always say to him.
If I'm not sure if you know it, but I'm pretty awesome. Like you are, Tony. Can you open this door? Can we just, actually, I think there was one that he couldn't get the door open. He had to call you. It was on 59. I remember it. He's like, I got to call Nicole. I can't get us in. I forgot about that.
Why didn't I hold on to that? That's awesome. And he was a great negotiator too.
Yeah, he was.
So
I think, and probably even for a newer homeowner, and I bought several homes, mostly with you. And if not with you, I'm like, hey, can you look at this for me?
Yeah.
But I would never have thought. I'm looking at like, where are the bedrooms? How close are we to a coffee shop? Like, I know I don't have kids, but where are schools? Like those types of things. I'm not thinking about the negotiation. Like I'm thinking like, I would pay this much for this house.
Yeah.
And quite often you're like, okay, but we could probably get that for less. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. So how do you test a realtor? This is never going to go away. This is going to be the worst podcast ever.
Awesome. It's going to be the most awesome podcast ever.
Look, like she doesn't know her. I'm like, I actually do. We're very best friends.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you test a realtor on how do you know if they're going to be a good negotiator or not? Because I figure by the time you get to the point that you're like, oh crap, we picked the wrong one. You're already in. Like you're already in.
Well, see, that's the problem. I think that people are too quick to jump and say, hey, who's the first realtor who will show up at the house and do exactly what I want so I'm in control, right? Like I call it like Dance Monkey, right? And it's, oh, well, this realtor was easier to get into this house or that one, or the one was friendly that I went to the open house in. And without getting into all the changes that happened in August of last year, you should be interviewing a buyer's agent just like you would a listing agent.
Okay.
You should be asking them questions because the critical mass is the negotiations. Just last week, Brianna, our agent, talked about a contract she was submitting, and the client wanted to know, which I thought was a great question, what's your strategy when presenting my pre-approval letter? Okay. So let's say the house is $500,000 and let's say you're approved for $600,000. Are you going to present your offer along with a $600,000 approval letter, or you can go to your lender and you can ask them to put it exactly for $5,000? Now, what's the mental strategy on this?
Yeah.
I don't want them to know I'm approved for way more than what the house is worth because I don't want them. I don't want to show my cards, right? The other side of that, however, is I could look at that as a listing agent and say, can you afford this house?
Right.
I'm not going to walk borderline, have my sellers go under contract to have the money not show up.
Right.
It's one thing to secure a property. It's one thing to love a property, aesthetically, location, all those things are a factor, I'm not saying. But the real meat of it, if the money never shows up, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many challenges are you going to have? And people don't realize appraisals fall short. How do you challenge an appraisal? Most agents probably can't. The truth is, in our market, I haven't checked in the last couple of years, but historically, year after year, for 20 years almost, there would be 17,000 agents in our market.
That's crazy.
Okay, that we're competing with. And what was it? It was 76, don't quote me exactly, 76% of them did 0 to 1 deal a year.
I remember us talking about that. I
It's-
remember who we were talking
Yes.
about, but I remember like we were at coffee somewhere, and I'm like, well, how does I don't remember who it was. I'm like, well, if they only do like 2 transactions a year,
Yes.
like how do I like? So in my
How do you
business, like,
qualify
I do new sales, resales, acquisitions, and conversions. I do
Right.
them all the time. I know the process. I can help people out. If I have questions, I know where to go to. But if you only do 2 transactions a
Right.
year, or 1 transaction a year,
Right.
or 1 every other year, like you're rusty.
Right.
Like you're rusty.
Well,
and
you
this is
don't
a
even
big-
know what you don't know.
It's a big deal. Like it's a big deal. So if you're going to be rusty on someone else, not on me.
Right.
Right.
So what are you doing as a tip?
Yeah.
And this is typically, I'm going to put buyers on the thing. Typically buyers see a house, love it, want to get in. It's an emotional response, right? And it's like, how quick, who will jump? Dance
Yeah.
monkey for
Right,
me,
right.
right? And that's how you're selecting your realtor. I'm saying pause. This is a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Take the 20 minutes, even if it's on Zoom, and talk to them, ask them what their negotiation strategy, and to circle back to our client's situation, like how are you going to negotiate that? The client wanted to submit at the exact price to not show the cards. My response to that is, listen, the house is worth what the house is worth. I'm not paying you more than what market value is. And obviously I'm going to try and negotiate down, but I also don't want you to look borderline.
Right. Because
Okay.
if there's another, because you're saying that
Right.
the reason for that is there's another offer,
Yeah.
and let's say like two equal people, but they're, for this example, if the other person's pre-approval was for 600,000 and you're saying 500, the safer bet is the 600,000.
They have more room.
Yeah.
Like, because it doesn't matter. If the house is $525 and I've got a $600,000 approval, well, I feel much safer with that. I know that even if I wanted to sell that 525 house for 600, it wouldn't even appraise.
Yeah.
It's a moot point.
I actually remember that. That was, so we have another friend named Sandra who's mortgage, and we did a
I know
podcast with her.
Sandra.
Sandra's awesome. But I remember that was a problem. I don't remember, you probably know the years, but you guys were like, offers were going left and right, and they weren't even approving. They weren't
Appraising out.
appraising. She couldn't even get the money. You're like, she's like, I don't care what you bought it for, what
Doesn't
you were
matter.
offered.
Right.
The bank won't give you the money.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to give you more than what they think it's worth. Like, because they know what they're doing. They do this before.
Yeah.
So,
So do you want to go in with a strong offer saying, hey, I can more than afford this house. I'm not going to pay you more than what's worth.
yeah, right.
Okay, that's
Right.
not real.
Like I'm not dumb. Like
That's not real.
yeah.
So you negotiate hard. You negotiate for what the property's worth. So show the $600,000 pre-approval.
So I'm thinking back to like the last house that you helped me buy in Oswego on Liska. I remember we looked at several, and I'm a very detached. I don't like, oh, that's a nice house. It's fine. I don't get emotional attachments to things, like those types of things. I don't. So I remember we looked at several houses, and I think we put 2 offers in, and you're like, you got the house. And I remember looking at Randy being like, which house? Like I forgot which house, because that one was that one under like a, I don't know all the words, but was it foreclosed? It was empty, or the bank owned? I don't remember what it was.
I do think it was.
But we bid like whatever
might have
we
been bank owned.
whatever we bid.
You got it.
There was a competitive so when there's 2 people that bid the same amount, they come back at this highest and best.
Yeah.
Highest and best.
Look at you.
And you came back and you're like, hey, someone else bid. I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, well, that's not
I'm
me.
not fighting.
I'm not fighting. And I remember you were
right?
like, let's just bid 1,000 more. I'm like, sure. Yeah, do that.
1,000 more.
And then you called me, you're like, you got it. And I'm like, what?
For
What did we
$1,000.
get? What did we get?
But isn't that a perspective? I mean, that's even a perspective of a skilled agent versus not, right?
Right.
Like 1,000 more made the difference. And what does 1,000 actually mean, even if you're doing a mortgage, a cash, over the course of the next 10 or 20 years you're going to spend in a home?
I'm a
Seriously.
big fan of like, you know what you know, you know what you don't know. Wait, you know what you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes working with a professional, like I would not have known. I've been like, well, I'm not getting in a fight with this one, so we'll move on to the next one. And
But that's a big thing too with people. They feel like, oh, I don't want to get into a fight, and they don't even want to throw their hat in the ring. And the truth is, because we've been on the other side, like we've received lots of multiple offers, you would be surprised at the array. But it depends on the market. So you need somebody who has enough business that they actually know what's going on in the market. If you only have 1 or 2 deals a year, you don't really understand the market. The market's dynamic. It's shifting quarterly even, right? We see slowdowns. Like we were seeing a slowdown in summer this year, right? Well, after kids go back to school, we started to see a pickup again. Like it got super busy right now, but it was pretty slow for July and part of August, but it picked up. Now that's historically the way it goes, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know with real estate.
So how does that work? Like if I'm like the seller and you're my agent, I'm not going to say it anymore. My agent, and I get multiple offers, then do you guys work with me to help me figure out who would be the right person?
Absolutely.
Like maybe the person that has like they're pre-approved for less, but they have more cash, or they can
Yeah.
move faster, or how do you help someone figure out like which is the best offer or what's the safest offer?
So we do, if there are multiple offers, we put them in a spreadsheet and we have different columns so that you can easily get a snapshot. Now we're not just blindly sending you a spreadsheet, but we give it to you to overview, and we will highlight the top 2 that we think you should go with, and then we'll have a conversation, explain to it. Some of the things that we're looking for are, well, in your market, when you're a local realtor, there are certain lending names that are stronger than others. When it comes to, I care about how much red tape is there and are we going to get it to the closing table or not? Have I had experiences or been aware of experiences where there's been a problem once it gets to close? So we'll share that information if it's applicable. Not to say not to take it. We're never saying that. We're just saying, hey,
like I may or may
here's
not
your
have
pros
seen.
and cons.
Yeah.
This has been the case lately that I've seen. We do say that. How much money they're putting down is a sign, right? Are they putting 3.5% down? Are they putting 20% down? What is the pre-approval for? Is it right at the line?
Yeah.
Then you're making us give you a call. Then we have to call your agent and say, hey, did you just have the lender conveniently make it for the exact offer? Or they approve for more because you look borderline and I need to present this to my seller. So we're doing all that background work. And I would tell you that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of agents. That's something that separates us. We know how to negotiate and understand the financing on the back end. And I don't think every agent does. An agent will look, they're like, oh, they've got a pre-approval letter, they're putting 20% down, yay.
So in sales, we often hear like time kills deals. Time kills deals. But yes, time does kill deals. But I tell my candidates, it's got to be the right person in the right area at the right time. And if I'm going to shove through, a franchise, launch a franchise to a person that's not capitalized correctly, the market doesn't look strong enough, or the timing's not right, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And then, so for us, myself as a salesperson specifically, but for Scoop Soldiers, we're not just looking to put like a peg on the board. Like we're not looking to put one more drop on the map, because it's not going to, for us, it's not going to do any good. The way we sell franchises, and it's probably similar to you, is through good unit economics and happy franchise owners. And if you have crappy numbers and not happy franchise owners, they're not going to validate well. So I'm assuming it's similar to you, where if you've got you got a bunch of sales done this month, but they all were crappy and it didn't work out, then that's not going to bode well for you next month.
The best thing is to set proper expectations, right?
Yes.
Because there was, what was the saying once upon a time? I might batch it. It says, let's see. Dissatisfaction only comes from lack of, never mind. You're going to have to eliminate
We'll Google
this.
it. But I can see it. Like, it's very clear.
No,
like,
there's an actual saying. I stole it from someone else and now I can't read. No. Conflict only arises when needs and expectations are not met. That's what it is.
So say it again. So conflict?
Conflict only arises when needs and expectations are not met.
Yeah. I would 100% agree. Like for on our industry, if we get there and there's tall grass and you've been a client of mine in the past, if the grass is long, we cannot do a good job. So it's much easier for us to say, Mrs. Tedisco, we think we did a fairly good job today, but if you could get Tony out there to mow the stinking grass, like we say it nicer, you're going to find waste, we'll get it next week, versus when the lawn care person or whoever goes to mow the lawn and they find all this dog poop in their yard and like, what are we paying them for? Well, they don't know because they don't do this. Like they don't scoop their yard, so they don't know. So when you're upfront with the expectations, like here is our inclement weather policy, here's what we do under leaves and grass, here's our skip policy. If we can't get into your yard, we understand things happen, blah, 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 blah. If you're upfront, it makes it much easier to be on the offense versus the defense.
Absolutely.
So what kind of situations come up with you, like in that kind of, using that same kind of thought? Like how do you guys make sure that you're as transparent as you need to be and try to avoid the conflict?
Conflict only arises when needs and expectations are not met, is to give them as much of an informed decision. Mr. or Mrs. Seller or Ms. or whatever the case may be, if you price it here, you're going to sit longer, right? And
which is cool if that fits your time frame.
If that fits your time frame. But here are the consequences of that. My ideal suggestion would be to go here, and here is why. So what I'm trying to do, or as a team we're trying to do, is give you your scenarios so then you can choose your risk tolerance. It is not for me to determine what your risk tolerance is, whether that's on submitting an offer or which offer you're going to take. I might say to you, and we have, like, go ahead and go ahead and accept this offer. Maybe it has a home to sell contingency and you had a better deal, but the finances are so strong and the people came in, and some of it's emotional. The people came in and just loved it. Those are the people who are going to stick with it. The person who comes in, hems and haws, like, I think I like it. Okay, I'll submit an offer. They're going to kill the deal in 2 weeks, I promise you.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not as invested. So I might say to you, I know it's a home to sell contingency. Here is the risk of that. We could, here's the pros and cons.
Yeah.
It's more money, or, hey, let's go back to this, see how much we can get this person up, and it's shorter. So I'm trying to give the balance.
Right.
So that at least if they pick the one that I say,
right,
like they knew.
Yeah.
And some people's risk tolerance is greater. Like, hey, I'm happy to roll the dice. I want more money. And if this falls apart in 2 or 3 weeks, which I'm saying is more of a probability than the other one,
right.
I'm telling you up front,
right,
there's a higher probability of that here.
This one looks risky.
Well, then you also hate me less.
Yeah.
Because I told you.
Right. It is so emotional.
You took a calculated risk.
And I know you've said no before, but I'm fairly certain that I've been your worst client every single time I've bought or sold. Maybe not bought. I'm a pretty good buyer.
You're a good
Because we would pull the list. I'd have you send me the things. Randy and I would drive by them before.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't need you and Tony to show me 20 homes. I just needed these 2.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just let me in these 2.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact, and you're going to probably lie, that I was the worst client you
You
ever
were
had
not the
selling.
worst client. Your house is still in our listing presentation. How many years later?
Well, why is my house in your listing presentation?
Well, because you don't listen first. So I think that's harder, though, when you're friends with your, I almost was going to say realtor for you, just so you weren't the only one saying it wrong.
Say it.
No, I did just now. But yeah, so Kandra here had a castle house is what we call it now. And Allison still presents that to this day on staging and what you should do to help sell your home. So there's very few living rooms in 3,400 square feet that have a castle painted on it. Not painted. Paint I could have overcome. It was actually
Like that, was it
stone,
stucco? Like the stucco, whatever it was.
I mean, there was texture. It was built
cool.
out. Super cool.
It was cool.
Super cool. Too bad the Knights of Armor weren't in the
I was just going to say, we couldn't find, we had those 2 like little.
I think I need to get this for Ben so he can insert this
put it
into
in there.
Yeah.
And listen, everyone here will agree. Comment on how wrong Nicole was and how awesome that wall was.
I'm sure your husband's going to chime in as well. This will be fabulous.
Right.
And the sword mounted to the wall in between the 2 archways of the stone was fabulous. And I mean, it was somewhat of a challenge. So we had a few weeks of a problem there, right? And we had to come back in and reassess
it. was really your problem because we weren't doing anything.
This is true. This is what your husband said. I even brought my husband along thinking that the man-to-man could have some reason in the driveway.
Nope.
That didn't work.
And what did Randy tell you?
That I was the realtor, that I should just figure it out.
Yep.
Basically.
I'm pretty sure he's like, she can just work harder.
Yeah. Is that what he said?
Probably. Right? He just.
I'm like, sometimes it's not working hard.
But the rest of the house was decent.
No,
that's wrong because you wanted me to replace the carpet. I said no to that too. And my office.
Yeah.
The yellow. I wanted a bright, sunny office, and nobody was around when I was picking colors, and it could not have been any brighter than it was.
Where was Elmac at the time? We needed her back then.
Yeah, we could have used Lisa.
Yeah.
So we have another friend that's she does everything, but she does home staging, and she would have agreed with me. That was a pretty cool.
No,
wall.
she wasn't.
She was.
No, she would not.
She would have.
No,
I'm gonna call her.
But anyway,
so then, so we're not the worst client.
No. I don't know if I really have a worst client. I mean, there's certain things that stick out to me.
So go other than the castle wall, which we're going to agree to disagree was cool. What are the other things that you've been
how we overcame it was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. So tell everyone how you overcame my awesomeness wall.
Well, we had people coming in challenged because it was the formal living area. It's like when you first walked into the door, it was the formal living area. So we ended up having somebody stage it to like a wine cellar. So in the arched stone walls, we had it like a wine rack.
Yeah.
And then they furnished it so it was virtual staging, and then we blew up the photo and put it in the living room because I'm like, there's no way anybody's gonna remember this from online when they walk in. They're gonna like, I didn't pick this house. They're gonna walk in, so I needed a representation in person of the virtual staging. And I swear, if it wasn't within a week of that going in, that you sold. And without lowering the price, because that's usually what the solution would be. Like, nobody wants to rip out the stone wall in the formal living room because they can't see past it. Yeah. And it's usually, well, price adjust for that if you're not willing to do anything about it. But
I think we did negotiate with you. I think we took the sword down.
We did take the sword down. See? Because originally
we weren't gonna.
I had to Photoshop it out, but then people were showing up and the darn thing was mounted.
We still have that sword. I've not mounted it anywhere in our current house, but I'm going to find a spot for it. It's a pretty cool sword.
It's a great sword.
Yeah. All right. So now that we've established that I may or may not be the worst ever, my husband also contributes to he's not helpful for you either. What are the other crazy crap that you have found as you're walking through a home? Like, just let her roll. Like all of the, like.
I told you some of them before.
Well, you want to share some of them?
You want me to share?
Yeah.
Well, we went through a vacant house and there was whips and a VCR left. Nobody wanted to check to see if there was a tape in there. That was just random. The entire house was cleared out.
So couches are gone, everything. Furniture's gone.
100% that was in the master bedroom. And
for all, that was not my house.
It was not her house.
So that was funny. What other ones?
But that was one that I walked through. So it wasn't
you weren't with buyers.
I was with buyers.
Oh, you were with buyers. That probably makes it more entertaining.
Yeah, that was a little bit more entertaining. I'm sitting here trying to think. I know you said this before, but I'm sitting here like, what have I?
What was the one? There's some stuff in the closet. What was in the closet?
Geez. Well, I mean, there have been situations. I mean, Tony showed up. I remember Tony showing up to one house. He couldn't even get in the front door. You talk about hoarders being real. Like, there's been some sad situations, right, where they really need to sell it or what have you, and it just breaks your heart. I mean, he said, and he's calm.
A big heart, yeah.
He's really calm, and I know he said it with grace, but like he literally would have had to climb within 1 foot of the door onto the stuff, just like you would see on TV.
So what do you do?
I mean, he's like, it hurts my soul, but I'd be doing you a disservice.
For listing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would be doing you a disservice. Like, this has to be cleaned up. And if we can't clean it up, and I'll help you clean it up, and I'll give you resources.
Probably not going to help clean it up.
Right? Like,
right. So that makes you different.
We have resources, right? And we can help get this done. But at the end of the day, I would be doing a disservice. The outcome,
like, it's not ready to be listed yet.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Now, can you find an agent willing to do it? You absolutely can. It's just not going to be us.
Yeah. So when someone's looking to sell their house or looking to buy a house, like, what are they looking for when you walk in with a realtor and you're like, I love this, it's great. Like, what are the things that you should be looking for that you might not catch in your rose colored glasses when you love it and then love the pool, I love the basement, I love, like, how do you find those little things that you're like, uh-oh, that might not be.
Yeah. I mean, I think that overall condition is a really big thing, right? Like, when the home is older, or I remember we had first time home buyers early on. I remember walking in and they did love the house, and this fireplace looked unsafe. Okay. And even just the overall care of the home, you could tell that things weren't maintained. And so when you start to not maintain things like HVAC systems, electrical outlets, fire, right? I remember thinking to myself, when they walked in, they wanted to put an offer in. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm not writing an offer for you on this. There's no way. How am I going to?
It's a death trap.
I'm going to, like, you can just see certain things, whether it's horizontal lines of cracks in a basement. I mean, there's different things. I feel like water stains. I mean, those are some of the things that I feel like I'm looking for. You're looking through the house and you're saying, hey, I love where the master bedroom is, master bath. I'm looking at what's the upkeep been about this house? Because if the upkeep of the house hasn't been to a certain level, right, a baseline,
imagine what's going on behind the walls.
You're going to come in here and I don't want you to have a lemon. I don't want you to pay for a home inspection and find out that it's what have you. But that is what the home inspection is for them to go deeper. I'm not a home inspector. I don't claim to be, but we can catch little things where I'm like, hey, maybe we can snap a picture of this and send it to our inspector just to cover our bases, or ask the seller about this. Leaks, things of that nature, smell, odor. There's been houses I've walked in and I can smell the mold from the basement.
Oh, really?
Oh, I can smell it a mile away.
I don't know if you showed, there was one in Plainfield. I don't know if it was you that showed it, and we walked in and I'm like, I'm not even going down there. Yeah. And it was a house that was foreclosed on.
Yes.
And the people that lived there before I don't know that process, before they got evicted, is that the right word? They took a hose downstairs and just sprayed everything. Probably. And they had like old mattresses down there. And Randy, it must have been, I don't know if it was you or Tony, went down with him. I'm like, I'm not going down there. Yeah. There's nothing you can tell me.
But you can smell it walking in the door, like if you're trained for it. So there's certain things like that, like you'll walk in and you can notice or smell certain things like, something's not right. And it's just our job not to be an expert, because we're not in, we're not home inspectors, but to know quality home inspectors and to say, hey,
like, I've seen this enough that we should at least ask a question.
Enough. We should ask a question. We should say something, because the last thing I'm going to do is sell you a lemon. Never.
Back to good unit economics and happy franchise owners. Right. Like, you start, and now that's like before, like, social media now, that'll get you real good. Yeah, for sure. But so you are a brokerage and you have realtors underneath you Did I say it wrong again?
Yep.
Realtor.
I'm pretty.
Did I say realtor? I said
Maybe you
realtor.
did. Maybe you did. Maybe.
Listen,
Okay.
you're gonna have to crawl.
Maybe
off my
it's
back on
how
this one.
fast
I
you're
said
talking.
realtor.
Okay.
Realtor. All right. So we have agents.
Maybe your speed is adding a syllable that I'm picking up.
Maybe. Okay. So agents. You have agents underneath you. So when someone wants to become an agent, like what would you tell them? Like you should consider Wheatland versus Keller Williams. I can't think of any like other brokerages. Like what makes yours different? Like why they should consider you as a new agent.
So you might be alarmed by this, but I would actually say we're probably more likely to be your second choice than your first choice.
Okay.
I think that a lot of times you have to see what the grass looks on the other side because it looks attractive. I think a lot of people think like, oh, I'm going to become an agent. I might go sit in the office and people are going to walk in off the street and I'm just going to sell houses. And
no, that's not the case.
They think, well, I mean, in my particular situation, I did work at a franchise before I was an independent owner. And let's just say, the sunshine and rainbows weren't really all it was cracked up to be, but I think that you have to experience that journey on your own. And I think that our group is different because we actually genuinely, because we're actually competitors, even under the same brokerage. Everybody in that brokerage, no matter what it is, they're all competitive.
Yeah.
They're all competitors. So what's different is it's always been hard when you're somewhere else to have somebody cover you. So think about it. You've got one solo agent. You want to go out of town or on vacation. Nobody wants to cover you because they're working. Right. Everybody's like, oh, well, you have all this free time, but you're answering phones all the time, 7 days a week, jump, right? So nobody wants to fill in for you because they're exhausted too if they're doing any real business. Okay. So it's hard to find somebody to cover. So now you're a solo agent. You want to go out of town. You've got a buyer. A house came on the market. You're ruining your vacation. There's all these things. So you don't have the coverage that you do. In our office, people actually cover each other. We've all been somewhere else.
Right, like on an airplane or something else. So you can't get a hold of them.
We all will cover each other. Everybody's super competent. Everybody has integrity. Like I would tell you that I actually love and adore every human being at our brokerage, from admin to agent to team agent, doesn't matter. And every single person will wholeheartedly support another human.
That's cool.
Just from a human aspect, right? It's not about ego. It's not about, nobody does what I call coffee talk,
that's like your
hide their
culture.
secrets kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing games.
Yeah.
Like I'm a straight shooter. I tell it like it is. So I would say to a new agent, go ahead, go get your training wherever it is that you think is necessary. There's also a book called Agent Entrepreneur. I'm forgetting the author, but it was fantastic to kind of show you both sides of, both sides of the world, how you could go. So I usually tell people to read that book.
So who makes a good realtor? Realtor, agent. Who makes a good agent?
Yeah.
We're gonna have so many bloopers. What makes a good agent?
Okay. Well, hey, you know what I can tell you is that agent and realtor are two different things.
In this podcast, they're the same. You can find some other
Just
podcasts.
So you know, we won't take you down that road because this isn't for real estate agents, but realtor and real estate agent are two different things, just so you know. But, so you could drop the realtor because not every real estate agent.
You just said realtor.
I did not.
100%. Did she, Ben? Back it up. She said realtor. So we're saying agents.
Just, you know what? I'm the guest. I think you're supposed to side with me. So
what just happened?
All right, so lost. That's what just happened. So
so
who's the negotiator, knows how to leverage her situation.
Who's going to be a good realtor? Real turd. Who's going to be a real
That's
turd?
A turd. Thanks. Who's going to be a great realtor? Obviously, you have to love people.
Be able to say the word.
I don't think you have to say the word to be a good agent. So not every real estate agent is a realtor.
Okay.
So Merry Christmas. You can now say real estate agent for the rest of your life.
Agent
Yeah.
for the rest of my life.
Or agent for the rest of your life. Okay. We happen to be realtors as well as real estate agents. Okay. But anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole.
I want to ask.
We're not. Don't.
I'm going to get confused. So
don't
can you just
ask.
text me later?
I'm just telling you, agent. I'm not even going to explain
we're
it to
good.
you.
So who's a good agent?
So I think that you have to be the type who is willing to start your own business. Just like somebody who would buy a Scoop Soldier franchise. I think it's passion, it's drive, it's people. I think it's understanding negotiations, how people work. You have to be able to do some numbers, right? You can't just... mathing. I mean, there are those TV shows out there. I guess you could just look pretty or handsome and get it done, but I don't think that's real. Okay?
They probably have people helping them.
I don't know. Some of those scare me.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I ended up in the wrong part of it, like I should have I mean, if I just had to be a little thinner and wear high heels, maybe I should have done that, you
Seems
know,
like a lot of extra effort.
Selling New York or whatever it is,
No.
all that stuff, but
No.
I can't. It's just not who I am. I can't do it. I
So
would
someone
stick out.
passionate and loves people, right? Like,
You know what I think makes a great, because I think real estate is entrepreneurship, really.
Okay.
Even as a real estate agent working for a brokerage where maybe I happen to be the broker owner, I think that being a real estate agent is still an entrepreneurial type of position, right? There is, and who you partner with is the guidance. So in the Scoop Soldier world, it would be they're partnering with Scoop Soldier for the guidance, right? To launch their business.
Yep.
In our case, it's like you're using Wheatland Realty or whatever other group to help give you a baseline. But I think in the 22 years, I think tenacity and the willingness to overcome the obstacles that will come your way, because they will. It really is that more than anything else. I mean, I'd almost say that, and obviously you do have to like people. If you don't like people, you're pretty in big trouble.
Yeah.
But I do see people who they want it so bad. Isn't that true in life? Like, consistency and tenacity will outdo the most talented person that you look at like, oh, they're so smart. They caught on to this. They know the P&L or whatever you're comparing yourself to, because that's all we do anymore. Time and time again. It is the passion, it is the desire to make it work. And for me, it was, I will not be downsized again. If I'm going to fall, I'm going to fall on the sword myself. My clients are going to fire me. No one else is going to fire me. Nobody else is going to determine my financial future. I want more control over what I do. And if I work hard enough and I pound the pavement and I'm good to people, right? That can be reciprocal. Okay. That's what you need.
That's what you need.
That's what you need.
That's a really good, that's a good, Ben's clapping back there. He thinks that's good. I think Ben wants to be a
No, he
agent.
doesn't. I think he's doing a great job.
I think you just got fired from a job you didn't even have. He might have been. So
no, I was trying to secure because he seems to really like what he's doing.
Do you like what you're doing, Ben? He wants to go home.
I want to go home. We can be down too. Yeah.
We'll go home. We'll go home soon enough. So
it's hot as Hades here.
It is hot as Hades here.
Yeah.
So give me, I know that and I know nothing about nothing, and this is not going to post for a little bit, but I heard rates are changing. So how do rates influence the market? I mean, obviously it has to, but how does that change people's minds on we should buy now or we should wait? How do you have those conversations with people? Because obviously if they should wait, you still need to sell houses to live. So how do you?
So in 20 some years, obviously my ideas have evolved, and really it's come down to that you should buy or sell a house when the time is right for you. Are there certain strategies, right? Like Tony and I bought an investment property in 2023, right? It's an Airbnb, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, the rates are at 4.75. Oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you, 2 years later, everybody's like, the market would explode if rates were 4.75. So there's always going to be one side, or it's never a perfect market to sell and buy in. And if you have to do both, it doesn't matter. You got to pick. So really at the end of the day, here's the thing. In the history of real estate, there has never been a 10-year period where the value of a home has gone down. If you take a full 10 years. Okay. So even if you bought that house in 2008, by 2018, you were above water again. Right? If you bought it for $400,000, it was worth $425,000. I'm not saying the range, but a 10-year period is an average hold. So I'm going to say to you, if you're going to buy a home and you're going to stay in that home, I always say 7 to 10 years. I prefer 10. Okay. You buy the house when the time is right for you. Get out of renting, start wealth building. It has made the most millionaires in the world. Okay. So it is one of the soundest investments, and you should do that as soon as possible. Now, if you're not a high risk person, you don't want to own multiple properties, all those things, I get it. We own 2 properties, right? And we're realtors, but that's just by choice on how we design our life. Is it a safe investment? Yeah, and you should do it when it's right for you, and you should do it based on your risk tolerance. And if rates come down, yes, you can refinance. Okay? That's what you do. You do it when the time is right for you, and an average hold of 10 years. So that's what I'm going to tell somebody to do. Not because timing the market, I cannot tell you how many people have tried, and their paranoia, they end up putting their back up against the wall. They try to catch it. They put their back up against the wall, and they end up making a poor decision. I can think of a couple people in particular where they were so hypersensitive, and they passed up good house after good house after good house. Rates shot up. They had to move. Back was against the wall, and they ended up in something that I know deep down they didn't want, but they were so afraid.
And they had it like no choice. They have to take this one now, or
They
very
were so
little
afraid.
choice.
Right.
Okay.
And there were houses before that, and they were so close, right?
But I always feel like things work out the way they're supposed to.
They do.
Right.
They
but
do.
Hindsight's 2020, right? Like it's easy to look back and say, wow, I shouldn't have done that. But try to there's a, actually LMAC, Lisa, there's a book called When to Jump.
Yeah.
And did you read it too?
I suppose I never did.
Yeah, I think I sent it to you.
I have it.
Well, I'll tell you about it. But it's a really cool book, and I give it to candidates regularly because very similar to house buying, I have people that they're super excited and they go through all the process and they're very excited, and then they get to the end and they can't jump. And so it was RJ Crone. I work with him at Spring Green Lawn Care, and he had said, I don't remember what candidate it was. He's like, if you have a candidate that is completely excited and not worried at all, or someone that's completely worried and not excited, they're not ready to buy a franchise. Yeah. They're not ready to be awarded a franchise. They're not ready to be a franchise owner. Yeah. So I would assume that's something similar. If someone's like, they're too excited and they don't have any thoughts on, like any reality to it, it's fairly similar.
Right. I mean, you still have to do the work. You still have to have your ducks in a row. But I think that even if you know it's right, there's always going to be a little bit of nervousness. Right? It's a lot of money. It's your biggest investment. It's a big spend at that time. There's always going to be a little uneasiness. One piece of advice I got and I apply to every bit of my life is that too often people wait for something to be 100%. You want to be 100% sure this is your right move. And at the end of the day, I think it's only 80%, because you're always going to have 20% of doubt. If you're 80%, jump. You jump at 80 and you have enough passion and tenacity and resourcefulness to overcome, always going to be obstacles, to overcome any 20% of concern you have. Right. Because if you wait for 100%, life will pass you by. Yeah. Opportunity will pass you by. And growth and becoming a scoop soldier millionaire? Is that what we are?
Pet waste millionaire?
Pet waste millionaire? You got to take a little...
Yeah.
You got to take a jump. You got to take a leap of faith.
Do your due diligence. Do your investigating.
Do your due diligence.
Get up to the line and be like, well, I feel like I did all I could.
Yeah. And if you get to the line, you're like, I'm 80% sure this is for me.
Walk off that cliff.
Yes. Okay? That's what we do. Nothing's 100%.
So I do have a question about new homeowners, because you talked about earlier about like getting out of renting and all those types of things. If someone's renting now, because I'm old, right? My rent for my first apartment.
I'm older than you. Go on. Yeah.
My first apartment was downtown Plainfield. It was $500 a month rent. We paid the extra $25 to get a washer and dryer installed. We had to buy them.
Totally worth it.
So $500 now on I don't know if it's 1 or 2 bedroom, but anyways, rent now is crazy. Yeah. So if someone's putting money into their rent every month, like what advice do you give them if you want to buy a home in next year or 3 years? Like, how do you start preparing yourself so that you've got the money and the expertise, and like, how do you guide someone for their purchase down the road? Because it is such a big deal.
I mean, I think the first thing that you should really do is you should talk to a lender, even if it's not now. I know people are reluctant. They don't want to expose their financial. It's very personal. It's very sensitive. But a lender can really tell you what you need to do as your next steps, because they can see the full picture. If you allow them to pull your credit, you tell them where you're at, and you're just a little vulnerable. We work with Casey. We've worked with her for 15 plus years. She's going to tell you what you need to do to get to the next step.
And maybe, do you think sometimes people, think that they're not qualified? Like, I can't afford a home.
I was one of them.
And then when Casey looks at it or Sandra looks at their stuff, they're like, well, I mean, like, let's clean this part up, and then you should be good by next year. Yeah. Like, It's
exactly what happens. And I would tell you that I only became a homeowner because I went to an apartment community in Naperville, and I was touring, and I can't remember what the price point was, but the lady on the rental agent on the cart said, "Why are you renting?"
She's not a good salesperson. She's not a good
She forgot what team she was on, but that's okay, I mean, maybe it was my time. But she said, you're going to pay this much in rent? She's like, you should consider it. I'm like, there's no way. And the first thing I did was go to a lender. Okay. Now, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, really? I don't need that much? I mean, because I think a lot of people think they still need 20%. And, when you're 20-something, that's 30-something, whatever it is. There's not 100,000. Well, now I feel like people are in their 30-something. The prices have gone crazy. I think a lot of people are at home longer, understandably so. But if you can get out, the first thing is, I would say, to talk to a lender, see where your picture is at, get the advice, and then go from there. Are we cutting out Starbucks? Are we going out to dinner all the time? Are we starting to put some money away? If you could put money away, but if you don't know how much money you need to put away, is it Is it 5,000? Is it 30,000? Well, guess what? Your strategy is going to be different depending on what that number
and maybe
is.
they shouldn't be putting money away. Maybe they should be paying down their debt.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I get people, we get probably similar, like tons of people want to own businesses. Business ownership is not right for everybody.
Right.
Franchise independent, like all of those things. But sometimes I have people that will come to me and they've got, a decent amount of cash to be able to start a franchise with us, but their credit's not great. So I have to have, or their debt to income ratio, like all those things. I have to have conversations like, okay, you've got enough to get started. My concerns is what if the marketing doesn't perform? What if the marketing overperforms? Are you going to be so stretched on your credit that we can't afford to, you can't afford, so I work with my franchise owners, so I often say you can't afford to get another truck loan, right? These things happen, so you have to be prepared for the best and the worst, and it's probably similar as they're putting away money, but they're not paying their car payments. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you didn't pay your car payment.
Yeah, and it's just about understanding the dynamic. If you don't know what you're shooting for, then how do you prepare for it?
Yep. So if you're at a new home, if you're looking to be at a home at some point here in the next year or two, or whatever your time is, Nicole would recommend you reaching out to a lender, a mortgage officer, and I would assume for somebody that's looking to look even in Chicagoland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nicole's fabulous. She's got a servant's heart. She will help anyone. So if you're in Phoenix or Salt Lake City or wherever you're at, I'm sure she would be more than happy to take a phone call and answer a question or two just to get you pointed in the right direction.
Well, and we can find you an agent there. I interview agents all the time because we have big networks across the country, and I know what a qualified agent, I know what groups they're part of, I know what networks they're part of, and so we interview them and we refer them, give you a couple options of a local agent for you.
So figure out what your finances are, figure out what you got to get cleaned up, see what you need to get, and then whether it's Nicole or somebody else, try to find someone that's trusted, someone that you can ask questions to. And I know that myself included, sometimes salespeople, get the bad rap, like they're never gonna stop calling me. And like I always say, a no is just about as important as a yes, right? Like if you're not interested, just tell me. Like just tell me because I can move forward with somebody else. So
and everybody just, they're just worried about, they just don't want to make a bad decision. Yeah, I get that.
And so be vulnerable, reach out, find someone trusted, and make those baby steps because rent is like rent's outrageous, and earn your equity and pay yourself versus pay. Unless you're wanting to rent one of Nicole's properties. No, hers are short-term rentals. So we really appreciate you coming out. Oh, I forgot to ask you.
What?
Tell me about your puppy. I haven't seen her in a while.
Oh, so what? I have a 14-pound Havanese who's super expensive. She's a COVID dog. I didn't realize it. I think she's probably more expensive than my son ever was.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And I don't think Anthony was super cheap.
No, he wasn't. But she's a little Havanese. She's a black head, so she stands out. She's super popular in our community. I think she's a favorite dog of our area.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's a princess. It's Polly Puppy Pants is her name.
Polly Puppy Pants.
Call her Triple P, PD.
P3.
It could be P3. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. No, she's a princess. She's living a rough life. Trust me.
I was a little sad that you didn't bring her down because she needs her Auntie Kandra. I've not been up to see her in a while.
I could.
I'll send her some
I
gifts.
didn't know. I'm like, did the hotel allow pets?
I'll send her gifts. She's super cool. Like I would steal her.
Oh, everybody would take this dog.
She's super awesome.
Everybody would take this dog. Line up.
I
don't have to worry about it. I'm like, if I'm dead and Tony doesn't want her, which he said he would keep her if I die first. But
wait, I thought we were
there's a line.
I thought me, you, and Lisa had a plan that our husbands are going to go first, and then we're going to get a Sprinter van, and we're going to drive across the country.
Oh, is it books, wine, and dogs?
And dogs.
Yes.
And coffee.
Did we have wine?
No, we wanted coffee. You wanted wine.
Okay.
So we'll get you your favorite. We'll get you the
let
wine
Tony
in a box.
know how he's going to die first, and Andrew and Randy.
You can't tell him.
Oh.
But like I said, we'll get you your favorite wine, the wines that come in a box. You love the wine. I know. She really doesn't.
There's no wine in a box.
She's very unbougie, but girlfriend is not drinking wine out of a box.
I tried it 2 weeks ago.
You did. I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well,
It's terrible.
Anyway, I'll keep an eye out for your.
I'll send Polly Puppy Pants your love.
I'll send her gifts. I always do. So.
All right.
But yeah, I really do. Like, not just because we're friends, but I appreciate you taking the 2-hour drive down to have coffee and share something. I really do think that you have an awesome story, and you've built a huge brokerage, or a moderate, like a good sized brokerage, and your team is committed to you, and you help people, whether it's going to work out in your benefit or not. And that's right. Like, givers get. Do the right thing. As we be a good human, make good choices, right? All of those types of things. So we appreciate you coming down.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no, it's great. So we'll link all of Nicole's stuff below, so you can reach out. Again, this is Kandra when I'm with Scoop Soldiers. Again, I do new sales, resales, acquisitions, and conversions. And hopefully someone watching has some questions about putting poop in a bucket and reaching out. But yeah, I'm happy to answer questions similar to her about pet waste removal or business ownership in general. But if you do have questions about Scoop Soldiers, you can always reach out to scoopsoldiersfranchise.com and you can collect, there's a form fill, you can get right to me pretty easily. So appreciate it.
Maybe I'll become the pet waste millionaire when I'm retired.
On that note, hope you catch us on our next podcast, and maybe it'll be Nicole telling us how she's a new franchise owner.
Yeah, in 20 years.